Hello, I am Alvin Xu, and my partner for this project is Joseph Jin. In this video, I will be showcasing the various aspects we have added to our CS61B Fall 2020 Project 3 for Gold Points. When we first boot up our program, we are met with this initial menu, giving us many options that we can experiment with. We can start a new game using a new seed with N. We can load our previous save with L. We can change our in-game name that will display on the HUD with C. We can read about the lore and controls with P. And finally, we can quit with Q. Let's start by changing our name. Here we can change our in-game name from the default anonymous. We can type our name normally with the keyboard, using 2 as a backspace, and pressing 1 when we are done. Names will also be saved when a player saves in-game and loads their save later. Now let's take a look at lore and controls. This is our first creative mechanic for Gold Points. The lore contains some hints about what the objective of the game is, and also how one could potentially win or lose. It also gives the basic controls to play the game. Let's go back and start a new game. We will input a random seed and then hit S to start. Here's our in-game interface. We, the player, are represented by this @ symbol here. We can move around with WASD. Our HUD at the top displays the name that we set from the menu, details about the tile that we are currently pointing at with our mouse, as well as a timer that is counting down from 5 minutes. If we hit :Q, we can also see that the basic functions of saving, quitting, and then reloading the game by pressing L from the main menu are also in effect. Let's continue looking around. These O symbols denote lights. We can see that some of the lights are on and are emitting light around it, while others, such as this one, are off and are not emitting light around it. As the lore hinted at, we can control these lights using switches, which are represented by the T symbol, such as this one over here. These switches that control lights are our second creative mechanic for Gold Points. Simply walk over to a switch, stand on top of it, and press T to use that switch. We can see that this switch turns some lights on and some lights off. Each switch is responsible for toggling a certain combination of lights. So how do we win this game? As described in the lore, our goal is to flip the switches until we get all the lights on at once. Once all the lights are on, we have won. However, if we are unable to complete this puzzle before that timer runs out, we will lose. This is our win-loss condition for Gold Points. What's especially cool about this is that the number of switches, number of lights, as well as which lights each switch is responsible for, is completely randomly generated. Yet, each randomly generated puzzle is still guaranteed to have a path to victory. Since the timer is already so low, I'm going to let the time run out to display the loss condition. However, we can also use this chance to showcase our third creative mechanic. As hinted at in the lore, as the timer keeps running down, the screen will continue to get darker and darker, making it more difficult to see, until finally the screen is completely dark and we have lost. This mechanic that includes the timer and the slowly darkening screen is our third creative mechanic for Gold Points. The screen is already a lot darker than when we first started. Let's speed up the rest of this timer to see the darkening in effect. As you can see, the screen continued to get darker, and it is now very dark. And as the time runs out, we are met with the loss screen, as we did not successfully complete the puzzle. However, we can hit R to retry and attempt this puzzle again. Let's try to beat the puzzle this time. This light switch down here should be the last switch to win the game. We are promptly met with a victory screen for successfully completing the puzzle. And that's it. Thanks for watching.